Ever walked past a row of slot machines and thought it's all just pure luck? Well, you're about half right. What if I told you that in 2025, the secret math behind these machines is finally out in the open, and it could completely change how you play? Stick around, because the numbers don't lie, and what I'm about to share will make you a much smarter player. First, let's bust the biggest myth. Not all slot machines are created equal. While every spin is random, the odds are not the same. It all comes down to a number called the return to player, or RTP. Think of it as the percentage of all wagered money a machine is programmed to pay back over time. According to 2024 data from the Nevada Gaming Control Board, machines on the Las Vegas Strip can range from an 88% RTP all the way up to 98%. What does that mean for you? On an 88% machine, you're expected to lose $12 for every 100 you play. But on a 98% machine, that expected loss drops to just $2. That's a 10% difference. Two identical-looking machines, side by side, can be programmed to take your money at drastically different rates. So if this number is so important, where is it? Well, casinos aren't exactly shouting it from the rooftops. For years, they've buried this information. While Nevada law requires them to disclose RTPs, it doesn't say how or where. So they hide it in the fine print of a machine's help screen, on a tiny tag you'd never notice, or deep inside a casino's mobile app. For example, if you have the Bellagio or MGM app, you can find the RTP, but you have to dig through menus, click on Game Information, and scroll past all the flashy graphics. It's a loophole they've exploited for years, counting on the fact that most players won't bother to look. This leads us to the penny slot trap. Everyone loves them because they seem cheap, right? A penny a spin sounds like a great deal, but in reality, penny slots often have the worst odds in the entire casino, with an average RTP of around 92%. Compare that to quarter machines, which average 94%, or dollar machines, which can hit 96% or even higher. The cheaper game is actually more expensive to play. Let's say you play for 3 hours. Even if you bet the same total amount, on average, the penny slot player will lose about $24 more than someone on a dollar machine. The lower stakes lure you in, but the worse odds drain your bankroll faster. But RTP is only half the story. The other hidden metric you need to know is volatility. This determines how a machine pays out. A study from the International Gaming Institute at UNLV tracked 1,000 players for 6 months and found something fascinating. 70% of the happiest players, the ones who felt they got the most entertainment for their money, chose machines based on volatility, not the size of the jackpot. Here's how it works. Low volatility machines give you frequent, smaller wins. They keep your balance steady and let you play for a long time. High volatility machines are the opposite. They have long dry spells followed by rare, massive payouts. They're built for thrill seekers, but they can wipe out your budget in minutes. The study showed that players on low volatility machines averaged 2 to 3 hours of play on the same budget, while high volatility players were often done in just 45 minutes. The key is deciding what you want: a long, relaxing session or a short, high-stakes lottery ticket. Now, let us talk about a feeling every player knows: the idea of hot and cold machines. You see a machine that hasn't paid out in a while and think, it's due for a win. Or you see someone hit a jackpot and think, that one's cold now. I hate to break it to you, but it's a total illusion. The Gambling Research Exchange Ontario analyzed 2.8 million spins and found zero correlation between past and future outcomes. Each spin is a completely independent event, controlled by a random number generator, or RNG. An RNG generates thousands of potential outcomes every second. The exact millisecond you press that button determines your result. It has no memory of what happened before. Believing a machine is due is called the gambler's fallacy, and players who relied on this gut feeling lost their money 40% faster on average. Our brains are hardwired to see patterns, even where none exist. It's a survival mechanism. But in a casino, this instinct works against us. 5 losses in a row don't make a win more likely on the next spin. Just like flipping a coin and getting 5 heads doesn't mean the next one is more likely to be tails. The odds are always the same. The players who ignored these phantom patterns and focused on the real data, RTP and volatility, were able to play 40% longer. So, how can you manage your money like a pro? There's a simple but powerful strategy called the 1/20th rule. It comes from studies by the National Council on Problem Gambling. All you do is take your total session budget and divide it by 20. That number is your maximum bet per spin. If you bring $100 to play with, your max bet should be $5. Why? It's all about protecting your bankroll from volatility and giving you enough runway to enjoy the game. A test with 500 players over 6 months found this rule reduced overspending by 40% and increased average playtime from just 45 minutes to over 2.5 hours. This isn't about guaranteeing a win. It's about guaranteeing you get more playtime and entertainment for your money. And here's where things get really interesting, especially in 2025. The game has changed. As of January 2025, major casino giants like MGM, Caesars, and Station Casinos are now required to display RTP data clearly within their mobile apps. No more hiding it in the fine print. This means you can sit at a bar, pull out your phone, and comparison shop for the best odds in the casino, just like you'd shop for gas prices. For instance, at the MGM Grand, you can now see that a Wheel of Fortune penny slot has a 91% RTP. But if you play the exact same game at a quarter denomination, the RTP jumps to 95%. This transparency is a massive win for the player. There's another advantage you can use: location. It's not just about which machine you pick, but where you play. Data from the Nevada Gaming Control Board consistently shows that casinos in downtown Las Vegas average 1 to 2% higher RTPs than the big resorts on the Strip. Why? The Strip has a captive audience of tourists, while downtown casinos have to compete harder for locals and savvy gamblers. A 2% difference might not sound like much, but over a few hours of play with a $500 bankroll, that can easily mean an extra $10 to $15 of playtime. It's a small edge, but these small edges add up. So what's the real takeaway here? The goal isn't to beat the casino. In the long run, the house always has the edge. It's a business, after all. The real win is to maximize your entertainment value and minimize your cost per hour. By combining all these strategies, choosing high RTP machines, understanding volatility, using the 1/20th rule, and leveraging the new transparency of 2025, you can transform gambling from a quick way to lose money into a fun, affordable form of entertainment. Think about Martha from Henderson, a real case study. She loved playing slots, but her $100 budget would usually last her about 45 minutes. After she started using these methods, finding a 95% RTP, low volatility machine, and sticking to her budget rule, her sessions stretched to 2 or 3 hours. Her entertainment cost dropped to around $18 per hour. That's cheaper than going to the movies or a concert. You're still paying for the fun, but you're getting way more of it. So next time you're in a casino, don't just sit down at the first flashy machine you see. Pull out your phone, check the app, find a game with a good RTP, and play smart. You'll walk away feeling like you got your money's worth, win or lose. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on how to be a smarter player. See you in the next one.